Did we get that? I think I need to do my intro over again because I was a little like tongue-tied.
Telling you where to stick it and where to put it. Cut my nose running.
Okay.
I'm joking.
What up, you guys? This is your girl, Casey, and I'm here so excited because this is, yes, the most anticipated podcast of the year.
Oh,
and
Lord.
Yeah, I said it. So listen, this is the Let's Be Clear podcast, okay? It's a lot of shit we got to get clear about, and we're going to get clear about it today. So, okay? So, let's move this right along. I have my first special guest, none other than the most anticipated, eloquent, I can't think of no words for you. Like, goddamn, I don't even know.
You over here making me nervous, bigging me up.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna calm down.
And I don't get nervous.
I'm sorry. Okay, no, seriously though.
Thank you.
We have none other than Q Latham, aka Funky Dineva Ross.
The boss.
The boss.
What's going on, Casey?
What's up, boo?
Ain't shit. Having fun. How are you?
I'm doing well.
What you doing in my city?
I live here, bitch. You know that.
Child, please.
I live here. Listen, but this is what y'all don't know. So Q and I have worked on a couple projects together, correct? And he is a very dear friend of mine now, okay? He's a very dear friend of mine now. And so you got into my business last year, and so this is my opportunity to get your ass
get in
back.
mine.
Okay, I'm getting yours.
You're going to be highly disappointed because I really ain't got
What, 'cause you don't got nothing going on?
I really ain't got none.
Nah, you got some shit going on. And we're about to find out. So, first and foremost, okay, so let me just say this. I hand selected you for the project we worked on, right? Okay. I think you are so witty. I think you're so smart. I think you're so funny. And I think you know how to just give the girls what they want. But then you also have like a lot of intellect. You come with the vernacular. And you also come with a different viewpoint that I might not have thought of, right? And you like accountability. I've learned that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I do.
So for all those reasons, that's why I wanted to partner with you on the project. But I feel like in your respective business, which we'll get to in a second, I cannot really recall when I really caught wind of you. It just was like one day I seen this guy in a wig talking about my hat is laid. Like, so I don't know where you came from.
Okay.
Or so where did it all start for you?
So it's so funny. You know, I'm going to give you the very condensed version of this story, and everybody knows. I started out as a boring-ass corporate accountant. All of my, college education is in finance and accounting. And I hated my job. I hated what I was doing. And in order to subsidize my creative side, I started throwing parties, right?
Okay.
So because I was a party promoter in Atlanta, throwing like upscale gay parties, I had this huge Facebook following. And literally when I was at work, I'd just be on the computer just talking trash about my boss. This bitch came in here today bothering every damn body with his broke ass. Just telling the stories. Oh, the old lady in the county smell like mothballs today, and she coming in here bothering everybody. And so what would happen was, over time, everybody else who hated their miserable job, they would turn to my status messages and my Facebook page for their daily entertainment while they're at work, on their lunch break, or whatever the case may be. Real Housewives of Atlanta comes out that year. Me and my friends decide we're going to go out dressed up as the housewives.
Okay.
Of course, I'm the Nene Leakes character of the bunch. That's October. Fast forward to about December or so of that year, I put the wig on, and I'm like, yes, honey. I take my iPhone. I'm like, my hat is laid, honey. I'm just playing, cleaning up the basement, just playing around. Thought the video was funny. It was too large to text. So I uploaded it to this YouTube channel that I had since I was like 13, 14 years old, just so I could share it with some other friends for them to look and laugh. Subsequently, it ended up getting posted on Facebook, and because I had over 5,000 Facebook friends, the video went viral. And that literally is how it started. From there, I got mixed reviews. The guys were like, man, what type of punk faggot ass shit is this? The girls thought it was funny. And then I just started using it to vent. Right. I realized as a corporate accountant, Quentin couldn't say these things without getting in trouble, but Funky Dineva could. And back during that time, you had to be invited to partnership with YouTube. I got this email from YouTube one day, and they were like, your video's getting all these views, yada, 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 sign up for this. I thought it was some bull crap. Again, 13 years ago, the word social media influencer did not exist. The word YouTuber didn't exist. The phrase social media didn't even exist when I got started. So I had no blueprint for what this was. Upload the videos. I fill out the form one day. They sent it a second time. I fill it out. The first month I made like $80.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, this is like
It's
gas
lunch,
money,
right?
it's lunch money. Again, there's no framework for an influencer.
No.
The second month, I made like $113.
Okay. Now wait, are you doing it every day still? Or
No, at this point, I'm just doing it haphazardly, just whenever.
And do you have the name Funky Dineva?
Yes. No, I had the name Funky Dineva. And literally people ask, how'd you get that
Yeah,
name?
where the name came
I
from?
don't know. I just was playing in the phone and I was like, because I'm Funky Dineva, honey. I just don't know where the hell this shit came from. And honestly and truthfully, to speak to that, a lot of people get surprised when they realize that I don't edit and I do all of my videos in one take. There is something divine that happens when I turn the camera on, Casey.
For sure.
There is a light that comes down out of the sky. It comes through my brain and out my mouth. And real talk, a lot of people may not believe me when I say this, but oftentimes when I turn that camera off and I get up and go on about my daily life, I have no idea what I said.
I can see that. It's
I
almost
have
like you black out.
no idea what was said on that video.
Until somebody texts you some hate mail.
Or until I go back and look through the comments and people are like, oh, that part was so funny. And I'd be like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Like something literally takes over me when the red light on that camera goes on. But fast forward, I got sick during this time from work and I took Monday through Thursday off. Thursday afternoon, I called my boss and I said, look, I've been out for 4 days. I might as well just take off Friday and just start fresh on Monday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been out 4 days. And his name was John. John set me free. John said, you know what, Quentin? He said, you've been out this long. It creates a nice natural stopping point. I remember verbatim what he said. He
Meaning
said,
what?
this creates a nice natural stopping point. I can tell you're not happy here, and basically don't worry about coming back.
John seen your goddamn text messages.
And so
he was over you.
And so he was, you know what I'm saying? And to his credit, and to my department's credit, I was poor performing. Now, little do they know the joke was on their ass because all they work was in their desk, bitch. When they went through my desk, I'm sure they found months worth of their unpaid invoices and bills, right? But I looked at that phone at that moment. I hung that phone up. And I said, you know what? You're making $130 a month on these videos. And at that time, President Obama was giving unemployment for 2 years.
Okay.
And unemployment in Georgia at that time was like $1,400. And I said to myself, I said, Q, if you can get $1,400 in unemployment, and if you can get this YouTube thing, whatever it is, to make another $1,500, that's $3,000 a month.
Right.
You can figure out a way to live off of that. I went full throttle, and within 6 months, I was on VH1 doing the very first Love and Hip Hop reunion, and that's literally how it started.
Now wait, so somebody obviously saw you, right?
I was home. I got an email one day, and I'll never forget this person's name. Shouts out to Katrina Daly. She was a producer that emailed me. That's when Love and Hip Hop had come out. I was doing Love and Hip Hop videos, and she said, "Hi, my name is Katrina Daly, and we've been looking at your videos." And she said, I would like to know how much it would be to license one of your videos. I'm not in the entertainment business. At that time, the only person I knew was Candy Burris in entertainment, because I called Candy. She was like, do you mind if I get my agent involved with this? She's currently my agent now, Tracy Christian.
Oh, wow.
Tracy calls me and she says, all right, let me work this out. So she calls me. She says, I got good news and bad news. I said, well, what's the good news? She said, the good news is I convinced them, instead of using your videos, why don't they just use you? I said, great. She says, the bad news is they're not going to pay you. Now, let me back up. When they were first going to license the video, they were going to give me $500. They were going to give me $500 to license the video. And so she said, they'll use you, but you won't get paid. Well, it's TV. Shit, I want to be on TV. So, of course, I took it. So they flew me out to New York, paid for my airline, paid for my hotel and everything. And then that's how many of you guys came to see me on the very first Love and Hip Hop reunion. I did some behind-the-scenes interview work for MTV Digital, or VH1 Digital. And then I got to ask a question during the reunion, and you see me in the reunion reacting and stuff. And that was my very first TV job. So shouts out to Mona Scott Young and the team over at Love and Hip Hop. But that was my very first TV job.
So at this point, are you like, okay, I can pull this? Or are you like, I'm a little bit, like one foot in, one foot out? What are you?
Oh, yeah.
Because you still got bills.
I ended up getting evicted out of my apartment, and my car, I was driving a Nissan Cube at the time. My Nissan Cube got impounded because I didn't have no license, no insurance, or no tag. And so when I got pulled over, the officer was like, you're not giving me nothing to work with. I have to take the vehicle or whatever. And then I was already 2 months behind on my car note. He gave me so many tickets, Casey, that it was going to be about $2,500 in tickets. There would not have been enough time for me to pay the tickets and not hit the 3-month mark being behind on my car note to get the car repoed. So I just said fuck it and let Nissan get the car.
Keep the goddamn
so
car.
Nissan just repoed the car. And shouts out to my best friend, Jonathan Blunt. I slept on my best friend Jonathan's floor in his apartment, and that's when I got my written blog off the ground. I went balls to the walls on those videos. During the time in which I was living with Jonathan, I did 2 more TV appearances with VH1 and Bravo, and then I went from sleeping on his floor to living on the 16th floor of the 12 Hotel in the middle of Atlantic Station.
Not the 12.
You know, God will do it for you.
Won't he do it?
He'll do it for you. And I'll never forget when I moved into that unit, my friend Jonathan helped me move in, and he paused me and he said, Q, do you realize that you literally just went from sleeping on my floor to living in the 12? And I was like, oh shit, I did. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And literally, and the business has grown exponentially since then. And 13 years later, we're here.
Now, let me ask you this, because I watch your stuff. I tune in. You like my current event situation. Even stuff I don't even know what's going on, because like, you know, I'm a little old on her time. You know, you can get a little, you
Spicy.
know. No, I mean, I think you tell the truth, but
Okay.
everybody can't handle the truth. And so has it cost you friendships?
Most definitely.
So how do you navigate that?
Oh, most definitely. So I have a rule now. I no longer make friends with celebrities.
Well, what about?
I no longer make friends with celebrities. Like my celebrity friends that I know now, they're cool. I go out of my way to not foster new celebrity relationships because I can handle the duality of the friendship and being in a role where I have to critique you.
Right.
Oftentimes, celebrities can't. I'll never forget two stories that are relevant in this. Mimi Faust. Mimi Faust was the first person who actually made me realize I no longer want to be friends with celebrities. So Mimi Faust and I were cool when Love and Hip Hop came out, and I was in the 12 Hotel. I'll never forget. So I did my video. Now, all the drama's going on Love and Hip Hop, I can't not talk about it.
Right.
In my mind, I was like, instead of going in on her for being stupid, for still being with Stevie and having threesomes and da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, God.
I said, I gotta say something about her, because if not, the fans are gonna attack me. So I just went in on the fact that she didn't have no furniture in her apartment.
Oh, God.
I thought that was a great way. I'm gonna go in on your apartment instead of going in on you.
Wait, did you give her a warning like, hey?
No, not at all.
Oh,
She saw at the same time everybody else did after the episode. Baby, I had a friend that lived in that building, my friend named Cecily. I was on the elevator going to Cecily's unit, and Mimi Faust called me. When I tell you Mimi Faust cussed me out to the ground.
And what were you thinking?
That woman cussed me down. I have never been cussed out as hard and as violently as Mimi Faust cussed me out.
You know,
that bitch was violent. She cussed me out down to the ground, and all I could do was laugh. I was so stunned. All I could do was laugh.
Wait, so are y'all friends at this point, or y'all just
we're cool. We're cool. Like when I see Mimi in public, we'll drink, slap five, hug each other. At that time, it still was the same. It was like a working relationship. It's like I hadn't been to her house or nothing like that, but we were cool.
Well, how you know she ain't had no furniture?
Because they showed it on the show. They showed it. I was reacting to a scene on the show.
Okay.
And so from that moment on, it taught me, I was like, oh, this is going to be very difficult navigating relationships with these people. Candy Burris, a lot of people don't know this, she was my manager at one point.
Okay.
And what I like about Candy is that she understood the assignment. Right. Candy said to me, she said, Q, I get it. She said, you could talk about anything, just don't talk about my child and my mama. Right. Oh, Lord. She said, don't talk about my child and my mama. So with that being said, all things were cool. Right. With that. They were, we ended up subsequently not speaking. I'll tell you about that. And here's where things get complicated, right? So Candy and I were cool. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, we're still cool. And this is the first time I've ever even told this story. Nobody knows this.
Is she still managing you at this time?
No. Okay. Well, no. At the time she told me that, yeah. But at this time, no. That the management agreement ended some time ago. So I was never told this by Candy. I was never told this directly by her. But at a certain point, I just realized we were not communicating no more. I remember she had the birth of her daughter. I remember sending her and Todd a text message, congratulating them. I think Todd responded. But Candy didn't, and I didn't think anything of it. I just thought maybe, you know, she's busy, new motherhood. I did not think anything of it. And I can't remember how it got back to me, but it got back to me that she was upset with me because when the T.I. and Tiny stuff came out about T.I. and Tiny potentially, allegedly drugging people and raping people, so on and so forth, I did a video and I was like, I'm paraphrasing here, but I remember saying, you know, and if I was Candy and Toya and Rashida and all those people, I would distance myself from T.I. and Tiny just a little bit right now until all of these things die down. Well, it got back to me that she got upset because she was like, well, why he put me in it? Why he put me in it? And in my mind, I'm like, that's not friends. Putting you in it. Yeah. I'm not putting you in it. I'm just speaking in general. But, you know, I give her a little grace because what I had to realize was she had an extra level of sensitivity to rape and drugging and stuff because of what she had went through with Portia. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, I wish Candy would have picked up the phone and called me. I wish we would have talked about it. Maybe the relationship didn't mean that much to her to do so. Whatever, it's water under the bridge, and it's been so many years now. But again, that's just another one of those situations that reinforced that just when being in this space, it's just, it's challenging. Yeah. It's challenging being friends with people who are celebrities because they're real people. They have feelings. And you can't serve two masters. You can't serve the streets and what the people want to know, and you can't serve their feelings at the same time.
Do you feel like they feel like because of who they are, you shouldn't go in on them?
Most definitely. You know, not anyone in particular, but a lot of them do. I also, when I talk to a lot of YouTubers or podcasters and stuff, I also tell them, and it's a trap that I fell into, a lot of these people will befriend you just so you won't talk negatively about them. And I'm always leery of those people who befriend you after you go in on somebody. So say, for instance, Stephanie is your nemesis on a show, and a blogger goes in on Stephanie, and then now all of a sudden you want to be that blogger's best friend. But then what happens when it's that blogger's turn to go in on you? Right. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell a lot of the up-and-coming YouTubers, podcasters, social media kids, I say, don't fall for it. Yeah. And again, everybody wants to be in proximity of celebrity or whatever. Who wouldn't? It's a great life. It's a fabulous life. So, you know, when you got to make a little celebrity friend, you're like, oh, shoot, I'm in there. But oftentimes when they befriend you, it's not genuine.
But I don't feel like you give any respect to a person. Like, you're going to give it to anybody. You're going to give it to anybody. You're going to tell it how it is. Now,
listen, I personally, the way I navigate my celebrity friendships, the ones that are existing, anything that's on the show is fair game. Anything that's on the show. And oftentimes being in the company of these people, I know private stuff. Right. I'll never violate the friendship by talking our private stuff. Right. But what's going on that show, that's fair game. And it just is.
And they know what you do. I mean, they watch. They see what you do.
Yeah, of course.
So talk to me about, okay, so now you popping, right? You in the 12. You got a show or two, or you got, what you got going on at the moment?
Pardon me. Ooh.
They'll edit it out.
That's
okay. He said,
Repeat the question.
So you in the 12, you on and popping. This is you're climbing up, right? Okay. Do you feel like, okay, I got it going on, I left corporate, or are you kind of like, I don't really know if I can trust this? Like, where are you at?
Oh, I definitely was not trusting. So let's just throw a number out there. In the beginning, I had my written blog that was bringing in maybe about $3,000 a month in the beginning. And then I had the YouTube videos at that time that were bringing in maybe $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. And so, you know, that was cute little money. I ain't had no car. My rent at the 12, believe it or not, at that time, it was $1,400 for a fully furnished studio.
Well, you making 3 times.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, it was a good life that consisted of eating out every day, going to celebrity parties every day, you know, eating at Houston's for lunch every day. It was a cool little life. But again, like I said earlier, the word social media didn't exist. The word influencer didn't exist. The word YouTuber didn't exist. So at this time, I'm thinking to myself, this shit is going to end at any moment. Okay. And I'm going to have to go back to work because there was no example that this was sustainable.
And that was all you knew.
This is and doing accounting was all I knew. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not going to lie to you. For the first 6 or 7 years, I literally was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was like, this shit going to be over. It's going to be over. I want to say maybe around year 7 or year 8, I was like, shit, you've been almost doing this for a decade. Like, this is here to stay.
Did something happen, or you just came to the realization on your own?
No, you know what? Nothing happened. It was just one of those things where I had been doing it long enough that I was like, you're tried and true in this space, and that you've built a fan base. And it's like, even if YouTube and social media fails or falls through, you can pivot into being an entertainment writer at People Magazine, Jet Magazine. I'm like, you've been doing this long enough that you can turn this into a job somewhere else. Even if I have to move to Valdosta, Georgia, and be on the radio for $40,000 a year, or you know what I'm saying, or Cleveland, Ohio, somewhere.
Not Valdosta. You know where Valdosta is?
No, I don't. But I'm just saying, the point is, I'm like, okay, you've been doing this long enough that you can, and you're smart enough. Now, that's one thing I never doubted. I'm smart enough to pivot this into something else. You know, but now social media is an emerging market. The only thing that worries me now in the social media space is, and I tell people this all the time, we are one technology shift from being wiped out. Now, I don't foresee YouTube going anywhere anytime soon. And I'll be honest, that's where the lion's share of my income comes from. I pull in $50,000 a month just doing YouTube.
Come on, YouTube.
All right. I've always been transparent about my YouTube earnings.
It is what it is.
I do $50,000 a month on YouTube alone.
Nothing crazy.
If YouTube, one technology shift, that $50K is gone. Then a bitch is nervous. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I got other revenue streams, radio stuff, social media stuff, influencer, ambassador stuff. But the lion's share of my income is YouTube. That worries me.
Okay.
You know, but then you just have to be smart. And that's where the financial education comes in. You have to diversify your income. And I always tell people, you know, don't act like you was always making this type of money. So don't live on all of it. You know what I'm saying? I put more of it away than I do spend. So a bitch could sustain for some time if it did go away. But that's what worries me now. Just changes in technology. Oh, yeah, I mean, look how these people were making all this money on TikTok, and one change in legislation, and the whole TikTok is potentially leaving the U.S. and their bread and butter is gone. What are those people going to do?
I don't know.
And luckily for me, I'm not a TikToker. I can't TikTok. I'm not going over there. I think TikTok is for the young people.
For the young people, yeah.
And maybe I'm an old fogey and I need to learn to pivot and expand and yada yada yada.
Well, good thing you didn't, because now it's going away.
You know, but it's TikTok today. It could be Facebook tomorrow. It could be Snapchat the next day, and it could be YouTube the
Point
fourth.
taken.
You know?
Yeah, point taken. Have you gotten into other industries or real estate or anything else?
Most definitely. So real estate investing is of course.
Okay.
The biggest thing, you know, that I'm working on right now is moving into the product space.
Okay.
You know, we look at people like Rihanna. Rihanna made money singing and dancing and being on the road, but what made her a billionaire was that product.
So what products would you do? Because I done seen you do a nasty beat now.
So it's funny. Everybody knows I'm always down to the bar with a Honda Cars-B. I'm always drunk and having a good time.
Yes, you are.
And, you know, alcohol is synonymous with my brand. So I have a drink mixer line that actually will be coming out. I'll be revealing it at the Essence Festival, as a matter of fact, called Stir It Up.
Well, goddamn shit. Hold on. I'm not ready for this.
And the premise behind Stir It Up is, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you take your liquor of choice, you take the drink mix, and all you got to do is stir it up and have a good time. It's a party in a cup.
Okay, so now you're at the finish line with this, because I get it on the back end. It takes time, preparation.
It does.
Sometimes you can feel like I've been working so hard, I've been putting so much into this, that when it happens, you kind of like, child, I'm burned out. Do you feel like that, or are you excited? But, you know, you can't be but so happy when it's been so long sometimes.
So it's weird, right? So for me, I'm not going to sit here and lie and pretend like I had been working so hard. I'm one of those people that comfortability is actually my worst enemy, because I get comfortable. And I think I rest in comfort because I was so miserable when I worked in corporate America that it actually gets me off, that I can literally sit around and not have to do shit all day if I don't want to. And sometimes that can serve to my detriment, you know what I'm saying? Because this drink mixer project is something that has been in the talks for at least 4 or 5 years now, you know what I'm saying? And it's only been the last 8-9 months that I really put my foot on the gas with it, when in all actuality, it could have been off the ground 6 months from the moment I thought the idea through. I had all the resources in place. I had the bottling and distribution people in place, because I've got a lot of good friends in high places that know people. I've got a friend that knows a friend that owns the damn bottling company. You know.
So
what I'm
wait
saying?
a minute. It sounded like you was dragging your feet a
I
little.
was.
So were the people like a little bit annoyed with you, or?
So, you know, all of my friends and stuff were on me about it, and I'm going to tell you who it was, and I have to give all the credit to my publicist, Michelle B. Whitehead, because she stepped outside of her publicist role and actually was like a mother bear and was like, you need this done. Right. Send me the screenshot showing me you text the people. Put me on the call. Show me the email. You know what I'm saying? And when that happened, it's like the pieces just started falling together. And then, you know, she set up some magazine interviews where I was forced to speak about the product and mention its unveiling at Essence. So now what? I got to have some shit to show at Essence. You see what I'm saying? And so it put the fire up under me. But I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. You know, it's scary, right? Because sometimes we don't. I'm one of those people that I enjoy being regular, right? I enjoy being a regular person, and I think sometimes I shrink myself in order to remain regular. And I don't know if it's a fear of people around me saying, "Oh, he think he all that," or "Oh, whatever." But sometimes I underestimate the power of what it is that I've built, or I don't see it or whatever. And I don't know. I think I was just scared. I was like, you know, if I have this, are people really going to buy it? You know what I'm saying? Are people going to buy it? And I'm going to tell you what's giving me the confidence. They're like, oh, people really do mess with you. When I started doing my down to the bar parties now, traveling from city to city, like those tickets are selling through the roof. We sold out Huntsville in less than 24 hours. We sold past the capacity, and I had to call the venue owner and be like, we're going to have to get a tent to spill out because the people are just responding. And I'll do you one better. I had a lady on my show the other night named Kimberly Joyful, and she had a product called Paid for What You Say. And normally I charge people to come on the show and talk about their products or whatever the case may be. And she said, you know, instead of me paying the fee, she said, I want to give you a promo code and you'll get a kickback. I'll give you 15% of whatever it is people purchase. I got a text 2 days ago that said, you've made $21,000 and 15% kickbacks. Mind you, the shit is only $100. Right. So that imagine how many $100 that she had to sell in order to give me $21,000 and 15%. That's 500, 600, 700 people. I can't do the math in my head right now. Don't purchase something, and I'm like, well, damn! If they purchasing her shit like that, I need to be selling my own shit and not getting the 15%, getting all the percent.
Right, that's right.
Getting all the percent. So you know, my confidence is definitely beginning to build in that space, but it's been a journey.
What do you think would cause you to be more confident? Is it a numbers thing? Is it what is it? Because we were you did an event in Atlanta with me. We sold out that too. So
I think it's just the positive reinforcement just from having continued success in that space. And I think, you know, Casey, anytime, and you know this, you're a businesswoman and an entrepreneur, I think there's a level of pause anytime you venture into something new. Like I'm always big on stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. You know what I'm saying? I know how to do this. Yeah. I know how to get on the stage and entertain people. I know how to party. I know how to speak. I know how to interview. Those things I can do with my eyes closed. But you're talking about selling this product over here. And let's face it, you know, there's a faction of the room that wants to see you fail, and nobody wants to fail publicly. No. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's the embarrassment, it's the fear, and it's the all of that. But, you know, I'm growing.
But you also have community.
Yeah.
Like I've seen you with 14, 15, 20,000 people on your lives. I've seen the people that show up for you. Everybody can't have, I mean, they talk about Beyonce with these sacred hair products and they keep saying, girl, you don't mess with us for real. So that's the thing, like having people and on a daily basis, like people are busy.
Yeah.
So when you got 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people in YouTube watching for what you go, are y'all passing the collection plate? What we doing tonight? Right. You know, it's a whole thing you created. So
and you know, that definitely is an honor. And when I consult all the time. People ask me about building their social media brands and what should they do, so on and so forth. And I always say, Rome wasn't built overnight.
No.
And build community. If you build community, those people will follow you. They will support. But you also can't rape the hell out of your community, and you also got to keep it real with your community. I always tell people, particularly when it comes to selling and marketing, I don't just let anybody come on my channel and just sell any damn thing. I don't just take anybody's check and I'm on here selling shit that people know I would never damn use. You know what I'm saying? And even now, when I bring people on the show, you can't just pay me to be on. Me and my publicist, we both sit down, we interview, we consult, and figure out, is this relevant to my brand and is it relevant to the audience? And that is why the Paid for What You Say woman had so much success, because I don't hard sell my audience. So when I do bring something to them, they're like, oh no, Dineva vetted this shit, and this has got to be the real deal.
Bitch made what? You make $21,000?
Just in the kickback. That's just that.
Wait, is that residual or that's like a one-time thing?
So no, that'll be a one-time thing. You know what I'm saying?
Need to let her keep coming
Yeah,
back.
but just to think about it, who can't use an extra $21,000 a month that just fell out the sky?
Fell out the fucking
that
sky.
just fell out the sky. So it's like, this social media thing, if done right, can be very lucrative. Let's just talk about this month alone. That's $50K on YouTube. That's $21,000 from the lady that did the Paid for What You Say. It's $10,000 in ticket sales from Huntsville. I mean, that's an amazing month, not to mention the other money from people who booked spots on the show to interview, not to mention the residuals from other product endorsements and situations. So, I mean, if done right, and if you build your brand right, and if you leverage it right, you know what I'm saying, the money will be there. It's not uncommon for myself or other people in the social media space to have $100,000 months. I've had them before, and it's not uncommon. And here's the funny thing, and I say this as motivation and not to be braggadocious in any way, shape, or form. Honestly and truthfully, compared to some of those white YouTubers and compared to some of those kids that's unwrapping toys, I'm not even making no money.
Well, true. And you're not really working that hard. Because you like to sleep in late and stay out late.
Of course.
Because sometimes I'll be texting you and you'll be answering. But, you're not, working all day either.
Oh,
this
not
is
at
just
all.
So imagine if you did go super hard.
Of course. And, I always tell people, for me, money is not success.
Right.
For me, I'm freedom oriented.
Right.
I always tell people, if this social media shit went to hell today or tomorrow, even though I've got all this accounting background, I'd never go back to corporate America.
Oh, hell no.
I would get me a studio on the beach,
That's right.
a scooter, and I would go bartend somewhere 3 days a week. It means more to me to just be free and be happy than it is to have a lot of money. And the other thing, if I got to work super hard and not be available and be working
Stressed
myself
out
to the bone to have a lot of money, to be honest with you, I don't want it.
We don't want it.
Now, don't get me wrong. Money is great. Things are great. We all like things. Any bitch that say they don't like things, they lying, bitch. We all like things. We all like fancy shit. We all like to eat good. We all like to drive good. We all want to be dressed in the latest fashions. We all want it. Any bitch that say they don't, they lying. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not willing to work myself to the bone for it.
No, we can't do that.
They can have it.
So, okay, let me ask you this, because this is the other side of the coin, right? When you get publicity and you get seen and you get views and people seeing you and people loving you, that pendulum also swings the other way.
Oh,
and it gets very weird. It took me a little while to learn this.
Oh, yeah.
And so now that I'm aware, I keep people at bay. Have you ever had any situations where it got crazy, where somebody just either overstepped their bounds, or I even had a stalker before. It was crazy. Just where it got crazy to the point where you were like, hold up now, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, all the time, and it's a constant. I mean, some of my biggest scandals was the Blue Ivy scandal. I most recently had the Chloe Bailey scandal. There was a situation where I fell out with a blogger friend of mine that exposed my use of cocaine at that time and me getting evicted out of her unit. I mean, what I'm saying? It gets dirty. It gets dirty, but here's what I tell people all the time that enter this space, and I swear by what I'm about to tell you. We live very privileged lives when it comes to the money, when it comes to the access, and when it comes to the freedom. And everything in this life has a cost. You're going to pay on the front end or the back end,
okay.
But you're going to pay. And here is what I say when all of these hard times and this bad shit comes along. If you wanted to be regular, go be a librarian.
Go work at the bank.
If you wanted to be regular and not have regular people problems, go be a school teacher. If not, suck it up and fucking deal with it. Because I can assure you, there's a line in The Devil Wears Prada where Meryl Streep tells Andy in that car, she says, everybody wants to be us.
Everybody wants to be us.
And it's the truth. And it may sound cocky, it may sound ugly, but everybody wants to have the money, not have to work, sit on their ass all day in luxury and comfort, eat good, dress good, fuck good, fly good. Everybody wants to do it. So if you want to be regular and you don't want the bad that comes along with it, go be a third grade school teacher or go work at the bank.
Now listen, that's true, and that sounds good. But when it happens and you wake up at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning with all these text messages and people, cute as you, for me, it could be a little alarming. Right?
It is.
So how do you compartmentalize getting from, okay, bitch, I said if I want to look good and this is like, you still got to walk through that process. So how do you
cry?
Okay.
You cry for a minute.
You don't strike me as a crier, though.
You cry, well, whether it's an internal cry or external cry, you cry for a minute, you be sad for a minute, you close your blinds for a minute, you sit up under your cover for a minute, you order $300 worth of shit off of Uber Eats, and you eat it, and then you walk around your house and look at all your nice shit, okay? And then you say to yourself, bitch, the bitch that made that comment about me is a fat, raggedy bitch in the middle of Montana working in a goddamn cubicle. That's what I tell myself. And it's no shade to 9-to-5 workers, but this is what I have to tell myself to cope.
Get through, right.
I said, the people who are spewing the hate, they don't live as good as I do. And why am I worried about a bitch in the middle of Cleveland, Ohio that worked down at the county building? That make $40,000 a year. I'm not finna let no bitch that don't have what I have make my feelings hurt. You're not finna upset my makeup and disturb my tears. It sounds cocky, it sounds nasty, it sounds arrogant, but that's what I have to tell myself to get through the damn day. And you move on.
And you move on.
You move on. And again, if I want to be regular, go work at the bank.
Yikes.
And here's what happens, Casey. After you deal with it for a while, I'm 13 years in.
Yeah, this
it doesn't bother me anymore because I just understand it's a temporary feeling.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. When my defenses are down, when shit's going on in life, somebody may make a comment or there may be something going on that may get to me. But because I've been through it so many times, this too shall pass. Like my grandma said, it's only temporary.
Yeah.
I go put my head down for 2 hours. I put my head down for 2 days. And then you just say, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You dust yourself off and you get back to it.
Does it hurt any different if it's a close friend? Because strangers.
Most definitely. It most definitely hurts when it's people closest to you. I would like to think, though, of all the people close to me that type of situation would happen. I would like to think that 13 years later they have already fallen off. Okay. I would like to think that, but I ain't no fool. And I understand that people can turn on you at any moment. You know what I'm saying? But, even if it was to happen now, like my grandma used to also say, I don't put shit past nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm prepared to deal with it.
And it's entertainment. I mean, people got to look at what you burnt me up a couple times. And I was like, child, this just, I don't know, maybe I have a thicker skin. I don't know. But I mean, this is what you do. People pay you to do this.
And again, Casey, like I said, I keep going back to it. This life has a cost.
Yeah, that's right.
It has a cost.
Yeah.
You know that being a boss in your industry, whether you're the target from other truck drivers or other people in the industry, people collude against you to bring your business down. You live a very privileged life. It comes with a cost, baby girl. It does. And if people want to be regular, go run a daycare center. Go run a daycare center.
Shout out to my sister.
You know what I'm saying?
Little Achievers in Virginia Beach. Go sign your kids up because she runs a daycare.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
And when you learn to rationalize it that way, you realize, baby, it's just par for the course.
We talked about the product line coming out. What's it called? Stir It Up?
Stir It Up. Mm-hmm.
Stir It Up coming, revealing the essence, right?
Revealing the essence, yep.
Okay, are you doing anything down in the MIA, yo?
So you know what's so funny? Everybody wants me to do the Down to the Bar party in Miami.
Okay.
It has been my experience being born and raised here. Home team don't support you.
Yeah, everybody says that.
Like home team and not just Miami. I talk to my friends in every place. They're like, people at home just don't come out. And I don't, some people get mad about that. I don't look at it negatively. I think what it is the fact that you may be so accessible to home team, or they got a cousin that went to school with you, or they may just see you in Aventura Mall, that you don't come off like a celebrity to people from home. And the reason why I can say that is because I remember being in high school when like Trick and Trina were at their peak or whatever, and just the attitudes that we had towards them, like, we ain't going nowhere to see no damn Trick and Trina. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's not a shady thing. It's just like, that's just like seeing your next door neighbor. I'm not paying to go see my next door neighbor do whatever it is she does. Even though I love her, I'm just not gonna pay to see it. So I'm not super crunk about doing something in Miami, but people have been asking, and there is a lot of interest. So I'll make it happen at some point. It has to fall into my lap.
What about your second home of Atlanta?
So I've already done one in Atlanta, and I will probably continue to do stuff in Atlanta. Every damn quarter, because you've got a lot of experience being in Atlanta. Atlanta is just the mecca of Black Hollywood. You want to launch a product, you want to rub elbows with people who can help you. Atlanta is definitely the place. You want to be supported by your people. Atlanta is just definitely that.
What about coaching and consulting? Because I feel like you have so much to offer to people who are trying to get not only in the coaching space, the digital space, the television space, the production space, the blog space. I mean, you have like a wealth of knowledge in all these areas.
I've always been leery of that space because so many of the girls, especially the Atlanta girls, the reality TV girls, the social media influencer girls, everybody got a class.
Do they?
Everybody want to charge somebody $4.99, and they leave with absolutely nothing.
Who? Like not the housewives and all that? They don't do that.
Some of them have, but a lot of the Love and Hip Hop girls, and and I even said this when I hosted your class. I was very leery. I don't do these classes.
He talked about me too, y'all.
These classes, because people pay this money in support of you, and they walk away with nothing.
Right.
And I can honestly stand 10 toes down. I knew your character, and I knew your class was not going to be that.
Right.
And honestly and truthfully, you probably gave the people too much damn information for what they paid, because not only could they get into trucking, you gave them enough information to do a lot of stuff in the government contracting space. Let me get back on focus, though. For me, I've just been leery about it because the number one ingredient to be successful in the social media space is personality, and I can't teach that. There's just an intangible it factor that you have to have.
I agree.
Now, here's what I can teach. I can teach you how to set up the account. I can teach you, the ins and outs of monetization. I can teach you, the importance of hashtagging, but those are all things that you can Google.
But I will say this, for me personally, and I'm sure you can relate, there's a certain element that people just want to be around people doing stuff.
Most definitely.
And I mean, they'll pay Grant Cardone $150,000 to be around here for 2 hours. So when I get your phone,
but you know what's so funny? And that is why I feel more comfortable with doing the down to the bar thing, because at least there I can guarantee you one thing: you're gonna drink good, you're gonna eat good, you're gonna have a good time, and if you do the party right, you're gonna fuck good afterwards. So that's something I can guarantee you. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about me. I'm a good fucking time.
You are a good time.
I am a good time.
Shout out to us on the boat.
The other day.
My daddy was like, "Baby,
I am a good time," and I know that about myself. I'm
time.
tooting my own horn 17 times. I'm a good time.
You're a good time.
Everybody loves when I come around. I am a good time, and I can promise you that. But I can't promise you're gonna be a successful YouTuber.
True. Well, it sounds like you're still evolving. It sounds like there are still some things that you're still open to, some things that are probably going to come down the pipe.
Yeah.
You're like me. I just don't want to work too hard. Like, if I got to do all that.
Working hard is dumb.
Yeah, I don't want to.
And working, it's dumb. It's dumb. I study the habits of rich people. Them bitches don't work at all. All they do is tell people what to do, and they delegate. And, they find it very important that y'all over there work, but I'm not working. You know what I'm saying? I'm paid for my ideas, and you go over there and implement. And listen, it's worth acknowledging that everybody can't be an entrepreneur.
No.
Everybody can't be rich. In order for me to be rich, somebody has to be poor. In order for me to be good, somebody has to be bad. It's just the yin and the yang of the universe. But I don't want to be. I want to be the yin. I don't want to be the yang. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it sounds like you already been the yin.
Okay.
And now we on yang.
Okay.
We already did that.
You know what I'm saying?
Now we over here.
Let them hoes over there do it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go work hard. I don't plan on working hard. I think I'm too smart to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think I'm too smart to do it. And
you're not a morning person.
I'm not a morning person. And like I said, I'll never work hard because I don't have to, because of my outlook on life. I don't need much. I'm happy living in a condo on the water. I'm happy living in an efficiency with a box unit air conditioner. All I want to do is be able to have my day to myself and move the way I want to move. Whether I got $2 million in my pocket or whether I got $20 in my pocket. I have found what happiness is for me.
Yeah.
Now, other people, happiness is having a big house, a big car, things. Like I said earlier, those things are great, but I don't have to have them. If God came and took this shit away today or tomorrow, I'll still be fine, as long as I didn't have to work.
Hey, one thing I know about you, you're very self-aware. Like, can't nobody come tell you nothing about you you don't already know. And I even know things about you. And I'm like, we can't call him at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's just, he gonna call us when he get ready. Like, I know that you know that you're self-aware.
They text me today for the podcast because we had to reschedule the time.
Yeah,
and he was like, can y'all do it at 4? And I didn't answer the message. It's about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And I texted him. I was like, I can make 4. I just woke up.
Hold on, but to your credit, yesterday you said I'm good for Wednesday.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you did let us know. But I learned he ain't gonna get up early.
That is the beauty of
knowing you. Not
even just knowing you. Knowing yourself, one, but building your business and structuring your life in the way you want it to be. Much like myself, you play by your own rules because you're your own boss. What people don't understand is that, I don't take meetings, calls, check emails before 1 o'clock, but I'm also up at 3:30 in the morning blowing your email box off because that's when my brain works. Right. That's when my creative, so I'm up. Again, you're going to pay on the front end or the back end, you're going to pay. People don't see the times where I drop off of the grid for a month because I've got to plan the next year of what business and life looks like, or I've got to structure, I'm responsible for doing this for my family. So I've got to figure out this financial strategy, or people don't understand, okay, this person in the family needs this, and I don't want to touch my regular money. So let me get on the road. Let me set some dates and get on the road. A la me doing down to the bar. Y'all think I want to be flying around, coming to y'all raggedy ass cities to entertain y'all? I love y'all, but a bitch need the extra money for something. So I'm like, let me get on the road so I don't have to touch my regular money and get this road money real quick.
And also, I will say this, to say no to things that you don't want to do anymore, because I heard that you walked away from a 6-figure paying job, and I ain't talking about the ones.
Yeah, so it's without saying I didn't renew my contract with Fox Soul. The job paid me $250,000 a year for an hour and a half worth of work every day. And the beautiful thing about financial independence and just not being tied to money and not solely being money oriented is that when something begins to not serve you, it was not a hard decision for me to walk away. The beautiful thing, not being cocky, not being arrogant, not bragging. I didn't need the money. I legitimately didn't need it. And I realized that it is the hope and the dream of the slave for me to be able to sit on this platform and be like, bitch, I didn't need $250,000, but I literally didn't need it.
That's a lesson.
I didn't need it.
And then you went into do your own thing mode.
$250,000, it didn't add nothing to my life, and it damn sure didn't take nothing away. You know what I'm saying? I didn't need it. I didn't feel it.
Right.
A lot of people would have been stuck. And don't get me wrong, it's a blessing and it's great. But, the beautiful thing, just like you, with my business, I knew, okay, Q, you're leaving $250 on the table. So you got to make up that $250 on the back. If you're going to leave it on the front end, you got to make it up on the back end. And that's how Funky Dineva Live came about. I was like, okay, I'm already used to sitting in this chair, speaking into this camera for Fox Soul 5 days a week, with them making the lion's share of the money and paying me $250. And you got to think about it. If they're able to pay me $250, how much are they making off my back?
That's right.
So I said, you know what? I didn't like the atmosphere. I didn't like the environment for whatever reason. I'm going to let y'all have y'all little $250, and I'm going to come make $750 doing it for myself.
Let's do it.
And that's how it went.
It's that simple math, folks. Simple math. You heard it here first.
And that's just how it went,
That's just how it went. Well, kudos to you for walking away.
Yeah.
Ain't no more to the story.
It really, and that's so funny because when it comes to that, people want it to be so much drama, and they're like, oh, he got fired, oh, he lying. And I just have to let them run with that. That literally, y'all, is the story. My contract was up when it was time to renew. We had asked them for a few things. They didn't want to budge on those things. And I was like, all right, well, cool.
And if I'm being honest, and I'm not just saying this because you and I are, peas in the pod. But if I have to be honest, and I'm speaking as a voyeur, you gave the most personality. You gave the most because you burnt Stormy Wellington up. I'll never forget that. It was a classic roast. You gave the best reads. I mean, you definitely made the show. You're definitely the star of the show. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that before.
I mean, I have, but and even with that, I think the magic of that show was the fact that the three of us just had a chemistry that was unmatched. You know what I'm saying? Agreed. And if I'm being totally honest, I would love for me, Al, and Claudia to come together again, and work together and just see this project through to the end, because I don't think the work that the three of us did together, I don't think it's done yet. It just, the math just wasn't mathing. The promises from the network, they just were not coming through. And it was just like, this is just not making sense. We're sitting in a holding pattern.
Yeah,
We've been here now for 3 years. What's going on? You're tying up my time. You're not telling me where we're going. It don't look like we're going nowhere. Yeah. And I need forward motion. Yeah. I need forward motion, or I need to be left alone so I could lay down at 8 o'clock, okay? Because, bitch, I don't like to come to work every day. And that was already a stretch. Y'all know TGIF started as 1 day a week. The show was so successful, we went to 2 days a week. And after 2 days, the show was so successful, it's like, let's do 5 days a week. Bitch, I ain't worked 5 days a week since I was 27 years old, and I am 40.
But I heard the money wasn't more money.
Yeah, but listen, I'm not finna sit here in front $250,000 for an hour and a half a day worth of work. I mean, I wasn't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Could I have sat there and endured it for some more? Absolutely. But I just didn't want to.
I didn't want to.
I just didn't want to.
I didn't want to.
But, speaking of, people always ask, I always tell people, that's my biggest flex.
I ain't
had a job since I was 27 years old.
Oh,
I have not had a job since I was 20. I am 40 years old, and I have not punched a clock. Yeah. I have not driven into an office building. I have not been on anybody's payroll sheet since I was 27 years old.
I ain't worked since I was 24. I'll be 44 this year.
That's what I'm saying. That's a flex. And you don't realize the time flies.
Yeah,
the time flies. Like, I have been self-employed since I was 27 years old.
And now you're doing it.
And now I'm 40. And so now it's second nature. Speaking of Coach Stormy, she has a term and she says unemployable. You're unemployable. Right. I'm unemployable. It just I would tear your organization up. You do not want to hire me.
You don't want to hire us.
You don't want to hire me. I'd be no good. I'd be challenging everything, telling you where to stick it and where to put it. I couldn't work for nobody.
I agree. I think you're great at what you do, though. Tell the people where they can find you, and anything else you want to share with us that you have coming up.
So everybody, you guys know you can always find me all social media platforms, Funky Dineva. You can find me in your city now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going from city to city to city, going in and out of smoky nightclubs, trying to dance and entertain y'all asses, or whatever the case may be. But all things social media, Funky Dineva. And I love y'all for loving me, and thank you for the continued love and support.
And let's be clear, this is the first official episode of Let's Be Clear, but we're going to be back with more celebrities, more news, and we don't want to do it.
There it is.
Take us on out with the theme music that the dang got.